Hello. Good morning, night, afternoon, everyone. How is everyone doing? Thank you for joining today. Randomly, once again. So, hello. How's everyone doing? I was I had an odd day today. I went to the dentist and the dentist lady wasn't very nice to me, but now my teeth are all shiny and nice. So, we're okay, I think. I hope everyone's doing well this week. And it's an odd time for me to stream, I know, but I wanted to test some time zone things out as well. And I just want to check out some things. And yeah, today we're gonna finally date Colonel Sanders after me trying to convince people to let me play it for a long time. Holy hell, that's a beautiful VTuber. Thank you so much, Helio. Thank you. I did it myself, so thank you. I appreciate it a lot. It was a hell of a situation to draw and rig. So, yeah, I'm very proud of it. And I do very like my model. So, I'm very glad that you like it. As I said, after my long fight of making polls on Twitter and nobody wanting me to actually play the game where I date Colonel Sanders, I'm doing it now, even though there's no demand for it. I'm just doing it to have a good time. Later on, I know that a friend of mine there wanted to play Overwatch as well, so perhaps we'll even switch over to Overwatch, although I do not have Overwatch set up on my OBS right now. Depending on how well the stream takes Overwatch, we'll continue streaming Overwatch as well with a group of people, group of friends, mutuals, something. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what we'll do. And yeah, if it is really crunchy and scruffy and very scuffy, we'll end stream after playing the dating sim and checking if Overwatch is scuffed or not. If not, you'll enjoy a longer time of my streaming. And proper greetings from Croatia. Thank you. Proper greetings from the Voidon realm. Yeah. Okay. So, the reason why you've been staring at an empty screen instead of the actual starting screen of the game is that when I tested out the game and added it to OBS, I was greeted with a chicken screech, and I know that there is an animation at the start that you cannot skip or anything, and it's just there every time you open the game. So I want to have a look with you together and just watch it in all its glory. It's quite loud though, so fair warning to any users that have headphones in or earbuds in right now. And then I'll start up the game. I'm excited. I have seen it around, but I never played it. Oh my god, it's it's so loud. I don't know how loud it is for you. The rivals. The professor's dog. Oh, it's so nice. Why is it so nice? It's the ghost. I like that. Oh my god, it looks fantastic. Oh shit, wait, no sound from the game? Oh no. Perhaps now. A little bit. I hope so. Or else we'll just suffer. I don't know, I have a lot of audio issues most of the time. For no reason. So thank you if you like report back to me. It is of great help. Let me... Music is now up? Yeah. Do you want to have the experience of the cutscene again? Because I can totally do that. If you want the chicken screech. But I don't know if you want that. It's very loud. So I'm glad that it was muted. I'm quite glad actually. Let's just skip ahead. So, continue, what? I haven't played it actually, so... New game. Before we get started, tell us your name. Enter your name. Shrek. Never heard of this game? It's quite old actually. And it's a game about, well, you guessed it, Colonel Sanders. I actually don't know what the plot is, I just know it exists and I have been really excited to play it, but nobody wants me to play it, so I'm just playing it because I want to, instead of an actual demand. And is your name Shrek? You wanna go with Shrek? No, let's go with Illumis. It's quite loud still. Hold on. I feel like... adjusting it just a little bit. New game. Illumis. Confirm. I love that. I love this. Everything about this is just great. I love it so much. Oh, is that a bucket? Ah. You sleep softly as the morning sun casts a warm glow through the window of your modest student apartment. Alright, I'll post later in your stream suggestion section so you can check after stream. If you like choice-based story games, you need to play Detroit Become Human. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I collect odd games and story-based games, so anything like that, go ahead. Now sit back and relax, and listen to my... I don't even know. Music is a bit loud. I tend to have a, like, more quiet voice, so... I feel like if we turn down the music, it would not affect it as much. Resume. So we're a student. The world is peaceful and serene. You could stay in the moment forever. Or you could wake up now. Now! Your first day of culinary school is no time to sleep in. Smack that clock up and at him. Throw the clock out the window and stay in bed forever. Stay in bed forever. No! You slept through the school year and gave up on the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Colonel Sanders. Game over already! You might not be cut out for this. Let's try that again. With that noise, this club would definitely end up in wall in my case. Yeah, understandable. Okay, let's skip forward. Shut up. Hush. Lying in bed, you stare at the ceiling, thinking about everything that awaits you at the prestigious University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning. Your mind begins to wander. Who will be there? What will you cook? What would you wear? Time begins to fly by and you find your imagination getting away from you. You'll need to take this seriously. You allow yourself to daydream a bit, thinking about the future. If we think about the future, we're gonna daydream for not just a little bit, and we will not be able to meet Colonel Sanders again. So, I'm gonna take this seriously. I'd better make sure to arrive prepared for the first day. You bust through your morning checklist. Teeth brushed, hair combed, pits deodorized. Nothing can stop you now. You confidently grab a biscuit, strut out the door, and head off to class. Hello, Alton! Hello! Hello! We all refused to vote for this game and you still stream it? Yes! Because I wanted to. And I am the boss. It is my realm, it is my stream. It's my sleepover and I decide what we play. I really want to see what's up with this game. Milunis the Menace. Yes, perhaps. Like golden and nice this biscuit is. Just what you needed to get your blood flowing. I feel like the sound effects are a tad loud. Standing in a quad, you gaze upon the magnificent University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning. That's the most generic just name for a school. Here comes your lifelong best friend forever, Miriam. She's the most adorably awkward person you've ever met and you absolutely love her for it. She's cute, she's very cute. Good morning, Alunas. Are you excited for the first day of the rest of our lives? I'm sorry? You excited for the first day of the rest of our lives? Actually, Miriam, because I sure am excited, a little nervous. Okay, a lot nervous. What's It's just that this morning I made breakfast for myself, but well, when I ate it, I couldn't taste any love in the food. What if I'm no good? What if I fail? Oh, he's cute. Classic Miriam, raised by MasterChef parents, she's always held herself to a very high standard. Ever since we were little babies playing together and you rescued me from that quicksand box, it's been clear to me that you're the most loving, caring person I know. You're going to be great. But with the University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning's famous 3-day only semesters. Wait, 3-day only semesters. I'm afraid of being left behind and never catching up. A sweet girl, Miriam has always had a flair for the dramatic. This summer, she got so nervous about her first kiss that she chipped a tooth practicing on a mannequin. Pep talk your best friend. Change the subject to school gossip. Pep talk. I love her. Do you have any questions about modding or anything? I actually do not know. Like, perhaps we would have to talk about it in the Discord, and then I'll be able to think of some things. Perhaps. Unsure though. Alton, as a mod, you know one of your jobs is to troll the streamer. Yeah, we already bully each other all the time. Because I mod for his stream, and I bully him all the time. Remember last month when we saw that fortune teller and had our tarot cards read? The lady with the mask who gave me nightmares? I've been trying to forget. You know, she looked spooky, but she was so sweet, and she told you that you were destined for great things. Remember that card with the fancy looking tower? And that other card featuring the handsome fellow in the red suit? I've been waiting for so long to meet a handsome fellow I could call my own. And I'm sure you will soon. In no time we'll be graduating, and you'll be delighting the world with your heartfelt cooking in no time at all. As you talk Miriam up, you can feel her nerves begin to ease. You know what? Maybe everything will be okay after all. And if not, at least I have these killer bangs. Yeah, get 'em. Can you believe I cut them myself? You can definitely believe it. I cannot believe it. Before you can get another word out, you're rudely interrupted when someone smacks your books and custom engraved measuring spoons out of your hands and onto the ground. Hey, it's Ashley. I've never seen Ashley spelled that way. It's Ashley, your arch-rival. She's totally evil, but you can't help but be filled with jealousy. She can get anything she wants and she knows it. Hello, Ashley. Oh, I didn't see you there. Chicken shins. You leave Iluna's shins alone. They're perfectly normal shins. You can't stand Ashley. Even her name is annoying. You know for a fact that it's actually Ashley, but she had to add extra letters to make herself feel better than everyone. Yeah, I don't- that sounds like a sneeze. Like, that looks like a sneeze. That does not... No. Stop. If anyone here knows what perfect shins look like, it's us. We're not going to let you or your really weird insults get to us. Yeah, imagine getting called chicken shins. I don't know, I like that. I like that. I like it when people get creative with their insults. It's way funnier to call someone an egoistic fuck llama instead of, I don't know, just a slur. Like, don't call people slurs. Be creative with your insults. Across the quad, you see Ashley's best friend, Van Van the Man-Man. Or is it Van Van the Man-Man? Van Van the Man-Man, probably. I stopped to look at his own reflection in the mirror. His pants are so tight you can see him casually working out his glutes while he styles his hair. His hair, no lie, they're rocking glutes. Van Van. You, Rang Rang. Oh. No. He looks like a JoJo's character. I'm going to cry. Is that just an apron? Is that his boob? I think that those are his pecs. Oh my god, luscious lips. And just the most rocking eyelashes, eyeliner that I've ever seen. And those beautiful ruby eyes. Oh my goodness. I like that. I like him. He is very fun. You Rang Rang. I'm missing sparkles or like some kind of... Oh, there it is. There's a sparkle. Here's a sparkle. Okay, yeah. Perfect. He needs like maybe like flower petals or some like rose filter. He needs roses for sure. You've never been sure what their arrangement is, but as long as you've known them, Ashley and Van Van have been just as close as you and Miriam, but substantially more devious. Look at this guy. Oh my god, I didn't notice that his hair is a star. Oh my god. Oh, he's great. He's great. He's so slutty. He's so slutty looking. That is like the most slutty little tank top. It's not even apron thing I've ever seen. Anyway, chat, if you have any questions, you can always either ping me on Discord or send DM. I will try to help. Of course, yeah. I always like linger around in the VCs as well, so anytime you see me around, you just want to hang out or anything, join. No problem. Chicken shins. It's the first time I heard this insult. Yeah, same. But I like that. I really like you as a streamer. And I will try to be a regular. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm very glad that you are enjoying the thing that everyone wanted me to not play. Everyone did not. No one voted for this. No one. You seem like a very direct person. I would say so. I would say I'm a very direct person. I'm blunt sometimes. I come off as blunt sometimes. I'm just having I'm just having a grand old time, I would say. I can't believe that University of Cooking School Academy for Learning would ever allow people like you to attend as students. I know, right? You'd think they just hand us our diplomas now. Maybe hire us on as professors. You amateurs could learn a lot from us. With the first day of school about to start, there's just not time to properly tell these two off, so you resist the urge. Let's go, Miriam. See you later, losers. As you approach the door, you see a goofy-looking kid pushing hard against the window directly next to it. He looks like, the bowl cut is getting to me. He looks like... I'm trying to find a name for this person. Looks like a... Peter. Yeah, a Peter. Pop? You just fart? I mean, no shame to a bloated tummy. I think it's broken. You reach forward and easily pull the door open. That should do the trick. I love you! I think you mean thank you? My name is Pop. I was named after my pop-up. He's old. Could someone like this also be a student at the school? He must be one heck of a chef. Also, his name tag clearly says Bob, but I guess he's reading it upside down. Hi, Pop. I'm Melunus. Did I write my name in caps? Or is that just like a default thing? Perhaps I did. Are you going to make me hold this door all day? Nope! And with that, the young man walks into the building ahead of you. Is it just me, or is he kinda cute? Don't! Miriam. Please. I think it's just you. You both shrug your shoulders before following him into the building. You stand at the edge of the room, unsure where to sit. Other students wander in and keep themselves busy chit-chatting. Okay, let me look at this classroom. Check in. Okay, enough. Hello. Hello. A scruffy-looking pooch takes his place at a podium at the front of class. Adorable. That is very adorable, Professor. Who the hell gives his kid the name Pop? That one. That one's parents, apparently. I want to call you Mr. Cheddar. Sprinkles! Delightful. Now, quiet down, everyone. The puppy is talking to me. Who is this unreasonably cute pup and why is he in our culinary class? He must be Sprinkles, head instructor and CEO of UCS AL. Please call me Professor Dog. I may be cute and little and fluffy, but I still demand respect. I will not bark in this stream. What? A cute dog is our professor? This is the best school ever. I guess only a dog's nose is capable of picking up all the nuances of fine dining. Out of nowhere, wind begins to rush around you as a swirl of cherry blossom petals fill the air inside the classroom. I'm chilly. Someone close the door. And then he walks in. Look at this. hard throb of a man. Oh my god. You're immediately swept up in the aura of this new student and his remarkable goatee. Who knew anyone could be so handsome? Time stands still. He got that forearm. Look at those arms. Look at the slutty waist. Remarkable. Remarkable. His arms are beautiful. His goatee, remarkable, dashing. His hands, as big as his face. I love him. He's 10 out of 10. It's him. It's... If it isn't my favorite student, Arlen. Colonel Sanders interrupts Sprinkles. Sorry, Professor Dog, before he can finish his sentence. Please, call me Colonel. Colonel Sanders. A hushed murmur rolls through the classroom as Colonel Sanders walks down the aisle of desks. Suddenly, the room is sweltering. Sweat begins to bead across your brow. You feel like everyone is looking at you, and you're not entirely wrong. And this over here must be Sweaty Sweats-a-Lot. Maybe we should open the window back up before the faucet pit melts into a puddle and evaporates entirely. I still love him. He's so funny looking. She's also really pretty. Although her skirt is a little short. Just a tad. I feel like that would not be comfortable to sit in. But her tights have like chicken on it. I think that's cool. Hold on just a second. Nobody talks to my friend like that. You two both know my name. We were in the same kindergarten class. And what is it with all your really weird insults? I think they're creative. I like them a lot. Besides, when a Luna sweats, it's not gross. It's beautiful. Look at that shimmer. You take a moment to clean yourself up. It's a good thing you didn't forget about the deodorant this morning. This classroom is hot, hot, hot. Glad to catch you for a bit, but it's a bit late here, so hope to catch you next time. Post on Discord, feature game, and think you will really like it. You will play it many times because it has more than 100 endings. See you on Discord, and good night. Night night, sleep well. Professor Dog steps in to settle the class down and set some ground rules. I like that there's a chicken on the podium. Welcome to University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning, the greatest culinary academy in the world. Birthplace of culinary legends, past, present, and future. Many challenges await you. There will be tears, there will be blood, there might even be really adorable tiny food. And when all is said and done, there will be a battle, and you will lift your sparks and compete in the broom cooking arena. Just then, another student enters the classroom and interrupts the professor's rousing speech. Hi guys, sorry I'm late. I hope everyone had a good summer. I really miss... Quiet! Late to class is bad enough, but interrupting my monologue? You're on the fast track out here, young man. Are you sure you're even in the right place? That face. Me. Don't you recognize me? This is my 3rd year in the school with you as my teacher. Everyone stares at him blankly. Does no one remember me? You're expelled if you utter one more word before I finish. Let that be a lesson to you students, that tardiness is unacceptable. Even Clank made it here on time, rolling halfway across town on his tiny wheels. You turn to see the student Sprinkles is referencing, who appears to be some sort of industrial kitchen appliance. I love Clank! Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're so shaped. I love you. The class bursts into laughter. Oh, Clank, you rascal. Sprinkles walks in the room as everyone stands in silent obedience. When he gets to you, he lifts his nose into the air and takes a deep sniff. Sure. Your diet is lacking. Based on what I'm picking up here, you definitely need a multivitamin. You should be taking better care of yourself. You've never had a talking dog as a teacher before, but Sprinkles' reputation for being smart but tough is well known. Beef treat, rubber ball, chicken snack? You decide to try and butter him up by giving him a treat from your pocket. But what kind? I would say chicken snack, because that's what my cat really likes. He's a hoe for chicken. His favorite, yes! Well, 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 I think there might be some competition for new star student. The furry professor immediately devours the snack, leaving your hands slick with a coating of warm, doggy drool. You see the other students eyeing you jealously, but pay no mind to them. If they wanted to succeed in life, they should have learned the importance of carrying a range of dog treats flavors on them at all times. Truly. Settle down, young chefs. Take your seats and prepare to have your minds open to the amazing possibilities of culinary creation. As everyone rushes to claim their favorite seats, you're left standing at the front of the room. Only 2 options remain. Oh my god! Oh my god! Hey Luna, is there still a seat here? It seems that no one has claimed this seat next to me if you're interested. Do I make a move? Do I stay by the side of my best friend? Can I save? I cannot save. Fuck. Panic. Sanders. You move to take your seat by Colonel Sanders. It appears he brought no books, pens, or pencils. However, his perfect upright posture shows off a seriousness that makes you confident in his desire to learn. Thanks for offering me this seat. I've only had 2 rules. Do all you can and do it the best you can. It's the only way you ever get that feeling of accomplishing something. Look at this man. Look at this. Why is his arm so big? Do you even lift, bro? He's so heartfelt. Truly. That's so inspiring. A little off topic if you ask me, but okay. As soon as you're settled into your seat, the professor makes an announcement. Think fast, it's time for a pop quiz. Yay, a quiz about me. This incredibly important and surprisingly short quiz will tell me if you are ready for life at culinary school. Keep your knives sharp and your focus sharper. Here comes question 1. If train A is traveling to point B and train B is traveling to point A, how important is it to wash your hands before cooking? Extremely, look at you, Pop. That's right. Forest is to tree as chicken is to feather, night vision goggles, a slam dunk. Feather. That's right. What is the most efficient eating utensil ever created? A comically oversized fork, a meat tenderizer, a spork. Spork. That's right. What food is best for a broken heart? Anything as long as it is prepared with love and not too much salt. Camel meat. A pancake that looks like a silly face. I feel like anything, as long as it doesn't have too much salt. Something that I really hate is when people put too much salt into their food. Like prepackaged food or something that has too much sodium. Because you are here to season it somewhat, right? You're not here to repel a snail demon. You're not trying to do that. Just put like normal amount of salt in, perhaps. Try that maybe. Is Sprinkles a good boy? No. He's talking about the teachers at culinary school. He's the best boy. Yes, it's best boy. It's right. It is right. Your total score is perfect score. 5 out of 5. We're on a roll. Wow. Be honest. You cheat? You look up to see Colonel Sanders has been watching you tally your score. He's impressed. I know we just met, but I have to confess. I think you have a beautiful brain. Someone pick me up like this. Yes. Hot diggity, Galunas. You just scored some major Colonel Sanders points with that performance. May I have your attention, students? I have an important announcement to make. Time for lunch! Is very important. Wow, the cafeteria is as nice as any restaurant you've ever eaten at. It makes sense that a school dedicated to cooking would also be serious about eating. A delicious fragrance wafts through the room and tickles the end of your nose. Your mouth waters. You smell that? That must be our lunch. It smells crazy good. Everyone, can I have your attention? Is it about lunch? No, I just wanted to apologize for my tardiness. You see, I was... Howdy, folks. I'd like to make an announcement. Hey, I was... It's about lunch. Everyone cheers. But I... Shh. Lunch, lunch, lunch! She said shh. In honor of the new semester, I've prepared something special to share with everyone for lunch. Aha! Must be the smell I smelled. Indeed, that smell. Oh, he's in the poetic pose again. You hold your breath waiting to see what food this mysterious student has created. You've heard that he's very talented. But were the rumors true? It's this! Colonel Sanders lifts a large bucket above his head. Above his head, that's cute. Its contents glimmer in the light. Piled high are huge pieces of chicken, breaded and fried to a crispy golden finish. It looks very appetizing. It is a glorious light. The sparkles are adding to the whole experience. It's also the classic red, white stripes. Very nice. The aroma envelops you, and you begin to feel warm and safe. Colonel Sanders has filled a bucket with chicken. What a novel concept. Your stomach begins to grumble, as if to say, stop thinking and start eating. For years, I've been developing a secret recipe for the perfect fried chicken. By my calculations, nothing less than 11 herbs and spices are required to achieve the perfect balance of flavors. You look around and notice that every other student has pen and paper and is scribbling notes as fast as they can. But that's all I'll say about that. What, you think we want your stupid secret recipe, dude? Psh, nah, my dude. Nah. I'm just, drafting a last will and testament in case. One of those ingredients is, poison. Got him. He looks around nervously to see if anyone else is laughing at his sick burn. Yeah. I am a big fan of Van Van. Also, he's so, like, wide. Why is he so buff and wide? Wait to see what Zinger Ashley has prepared to follow up, but she suddenly takes a different approach. Yeah, and I was just like, writing in my diary. Dear diary, today I smelled something beautiful. I knew at that moment that only the hands of a true gentleman could fry chicken so tender. See her body language change from bitter and evil to sweet and innocent. As she slides closer to Colonel Sanders, she realizes that he is destined for greatness and fame with cooking skills like this. She wants him all to herself. Oh, please. Well, Van Van the Man, if you don't want any, I'll take his. Whoa, hold on. I mean, I guess I'll try it. He takes one bite and his eyes grow wide. He starts contorting his face as he tries to hold in his pure exhilaration and act unimpressed. That is the face of a guy that is experiencing a food-gasm, or I don't even know. The thing that happens in Food Wars. Easy now, there is enough for everyone. Please, my fellow classmates, dig in. Take one of the pieces of fried chicken out of his bucket and sink your teeth into it. It's amazing. Tasting Colonel Sanders' food transports you to another dimension. Alone with your taste buds, gripping a drumstick in your hand, you float weightlessly. Focus your mind and meditate on this moment. Try and identify every flavor. Savor the moment and everything that it tells you about Colonel Sanders' culinary heart. Swim towards the light. I wanna woo Colonel Sanders. The flavors in your mouth are beautiful, pure, heavenly. What a guy. Alone with the flavors, you feel something that can only be described as love. For a man? For a flavor? Are they the same? After tasting his food, you try to get some one-on-one time with Colonel Sanders. You approach Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders smiles ever so softly as you approach. He stops what he is doing and allows you to break the silence. Colonel, I wondered if I could talk to you for a second. Anything for a fellow chef. What exactly was on that chicken? How bold to come out and ask. It's an idea I had for a new combination of flavors that will make me my fortune and establish my legacy for all time as I open a chain of highly successful fried chicken restaurants. No big deal. Yeah, no big deal at all. It's just you and me here talking. I can keep a secret. In fact, I've got some of my own that I'd be willing to trade. What's the rush? The semester's only getting started. We've got 2 more whole days to get to know each other. Look at this man. Look at his scepter. It's a beautiful wand. He's clearly not going to give up easily, but it doesn't hurt to be persistent. You know what they say about secrets, Colonel? Shouldn't learning be fun? You've got moxie, I'll give you that. Colonel Sanders looks both ways to make sure you're truly alone, and leans in. You can feel his warm breath as he whispers. Just one ingredient, but you can't tell I use blank. It's something my great-grandmother taught me. Blank. Wow, you'd never have guessed that. In fact, you're not even sure where you'd get some if you searched. While you're wrapped up in the huge revelation, you notice that Colonel Sanders has disappeared. While everyone else is still in the cafeteria, you decide to look for him. You find Colonel Sanders outside, standing in the quad. Oh, it's you again. Howdy. Sometimes I like to come outside and look at the school buildings. I think about how my story will continue on after I've graduated. It sounds like you have big plans. I dare say the biggest. I will leave my mark on this world, you can bet on that. Alone together for the first time, you figure now is the perfect moment to show your personality to him. Nag him to show your own strength. Wow him with a big idea to add an additional ingredient to really spice things up. Be modest but thoughtful. modest but thoughtful. Well, I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoyed your food. Now you've got his attention. The flavors were complex, but comforting. The interplay between salty, savory, and peppery was perfect. I appreciate the compliment, Illunis. I'm sure you'll be a big success. I know we've only met today, but I'm starting to get the same feeling about you. Okay. We should head back inside. The next lesson starts soon. Step into the massive cooking arena where the afternoon lesson will take place. Each student gets an oven and all the tools and ingredients they could need. Look at this place. It's magnificent. Finally, we get to show our stuff. Wait a second. Oh no, we have to show our stuff. What if I totally blow it? You're not going to blow anything, except maybe kisses to the crowd of fans you're going to earn with your signature adorable tiny food creations. Welcome, students, to the cooking arena. For today's lesson, we'll be cooking with partners. Hurry up and pair off. Naturally, Miriam looks over at you, but unable to control yourself, you pounce on Colonel Sanders. Oh, I'm sorry, Miriam. I don't like that the MC keeps on like focusing on Colonel Sanders. I mean, yes, it's the whole point, but look at her, she's so sad. Hey Colonel, would you like to tackle this lesson as a team? A team of two, that is me and you, if that wasn't clear. Wanna be my partner? Sure, Illunis. I'll prepare our station. Without you as a partner, Miriam is left standing alone. Two different students quickly take notice. Hello, new partner. Beep up. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Oh right, two potential partners. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I don't know who to choose. It looks like you'll have to pick for her. Friend duties can be a little awkward, but that's the price you pay for not being alone forever. Who do you want to ask to be Miriam's partner? I like Clank. Sorry, Pop, but I think Miriam will be partnering with Clank today. It's okay, I already ate. It's not entirely clear if Pop has any idea what the point of school even is at this juncture. Clank is clearly excited to have some attention. He heats up and begins to roll back and forth. Clank is so cute. Hold on there, fellow. We don't even know what the assignment is yet. Technically, Clank might not have a face, but there's something charming and earnest about him. Bzzzt. Tissue, I hardly know you. Clank judders, and a panel shakes loose. Get the impression that this is a sign of affection. Oh. Looks like you two will be fine. Now it's time to focus on your own cooking classwork. Alright, you two, for today's lesson we're going to keep it simple. Pick a basic dish and divide up the steps. No chef is an island. It takes 2 flints to make a fire. You get the idea. Which dish do you suggest to your partner, Colonel Sanders? Steak tartare seems easy enough. It's fancy and you don't even need to cook it. Using octopus will blow Colonel Sanders' mind. Your grandmother's mashed potatoes and gravy. Mashed potatoes and gravy. KFC classic. I've always been something of a down-home chef. I was thinking we could make something warm, inviting, and comforting. Maybe mashed potatoes and gravy. I couldn't imagine one without the other. Colonel Sanders casts a coy look at you, causing your whole face to go beet red. Embarrassed, you quickly turn away. I'll go get the potatoes. No, please, let me. Picking the perfect produce is a passion of mine. Looks like things are getting pretty fresh around here. Does someone have a crush on Colonel Sanders? We're just cooking partners. Mind your own business. Sanders' heart is my business. And you'd better keep your fingers off of my man. Did someone call for me? I love the music. Love the change of music. Hold on, let me drink something. Hydrate, everyone. He's so yassified, and I love him. Ugh, no. Jeez, Radvan. While I'm over here crushing Illunis's dreams, you're supposed to be taking care of our classwork. That was the deal, remember? Colonel Sanders returns, arms full of peeled potatoes. He tosses them into boiling water and turns his attention to you and your old friends. Oh, howdy there, Ashley, Van Van. Are we working in a quartet instead of a duet now? Actually, no. It looked like Lunas was struggling, so we offered to give them a hand. You know how it is. These young amateur chefs need a lot of mentoring. I was going to say, Colonel Sanders, maybe I could also teach you a thing or two about fancy food. Maybe one day you might be able to get up to my level. Doubt it. Don't be rude, Van Van. Personally, I have no doubts whatsoever about Colonel Sanders' ability to concoct creations worthy of admiration. After all, your fried chicken was quite spectacular. But Colonel, if you ask me, I might make a better partner for you than this thing that has positioned itself at your station. Don't you feel deep down that we cast complementary shadows? We fit together, like a thigh and a drumstick. It just makes sense. He's not amused. Nothing about this makes any sense, but one thing's clear, she's coming for Colonel if you don't watch out. Ashley is really going at you hard. You need to ask for some backup here before things get ugly. Turn to Colonel Sanders, hunk of hunks in your time of need. Turn to Miriam, your favorite bestie who always has your back. Ooh. I want to see his reaction. I'm here to learn and to express myself via my cuisine, not bicker with the prima donnas. Partners were chosen at the beginning of class, so let's respect the format, okay? You turn to Colonel Sanders to confirm that you're on the same page. Wait, hold on. Let me turn the music down a little bit. I chose Colonel Sanders and Colonel Sanders chose me. Isn't that right? A businessman respects all fair agreements from contracts to handshakes. I took on Illunis as my partner for this activity, and I stand by it. Based on your team's behavior, I'd say you're perfect for each other. Neither of you has Illunis' natural talent or their loyalty. Being defended by Colonel Sanders leaves you feeling proud and full of potential. You look for Sprinkles and hopes that he might step in, but he's nowhere to be found. Knowing those cute corgis and their short but sturdy stature. You look down at your station and realize that in the tension of the moment, your hands have been cooking on autopilot. Distracted by the drama, you've already crushed the boiled potatoes into perfectly creamy mashed texture with plenty of butter and cream for flavor. It's as if your natural passion guided you through the steps you know so well while your attention was elsewhere. I know just what to do. Colonel Sanders extends his hand. He's holding a beautiful white porcelain gravy boat out of which pours a smooth brown gravy, smothering your nearly finished potato dish. Gravy flows down to the mound of mashed potatoes. The result looks spectacular. Granny would be very proud. Oh my god. Are we on a date? Are we about to kiss? That wink. Damn. Truly irresistible. Colonel Sanders holds a spork out to you. You reach out and grab hold of it, but he doesn't immediately let go. Two of you stand holding the same spork, and for that small moment, all of the madness and pressure in this crazy world stops. Your eyes lock. The moment is electric. Time stands still. The music is so good. It's very faint now. I hate to do this all the time. I just like keep on adjusting things, but yeah. I needed it. I needed it for the atmosphere, for the vibe. If you love something, set it free. Together you dig the utensil into the mashed potatoes and lift a heaping sparkful up. When you see Ashley with a sinister look, you know she's plotting against you to be with Colonel Sanders. And then, filled with rage, without thinking, you fling the sparkful of mashed potatoes right into Ashley's stupid, beautiful face. Van Van, do something, do something. Scooping up a fingerful, Van Van tastes the dripping mashed potatoes and gravy and realizes that it's delicious. Horrified by this revelation, he slinks away. Will he ever be able to cook something with so much love and integrity? Hold on right there, Eloise. We do not waste food in the broad cooking arena. Colonel Sanders, I expect better from you. If you throw one more spoonful, you'd better be prepared to eat it from wherever it lands. And I has potatoes face. Van Van rushes back over a covered dish in his hand. Mashed potatoes with gravy. Pathetic. Just a few minutes, I've prepared a full meal. Gaze upon my specialty braised tentacle of octopus in my silky saltwater sauce. Plated on a battle axe blade, forged by my supreme chef ancestors. That is metal. That is very cool. It's also very pretty. I'd eat it. I would eat it. You've ignored me for too long. That ends now. It is I who will have first bite and you will all look on with envy. The interrupting student rushes at Van Van and swipes a bite of his signature dish right off the plate. No, don't! Something about this dish doesn't strike my nose quite right. I think the octopus was rushed and may have turned in the process. The result could be toxic. Too late. It has been eaten. I think I left something in the oven. I don't feel so good. It killed him. Oh! He's the ghost? Oh no! Everyone step back, don't take another bite. When you look back at the plate, the rest of it is gone. You notice the tip of tentacle being slurped up in Pop's mouth. Pop winces in pain for just a moment, then is almost immediately back to his oblivious self. Oopsie! Tastes like poison. The entire class is gathered to watch Pop's final moments. Shock has frozen the whole crowd. They are as motionless as statues. The class bell rings, disrupting the moment and snapping everyone back to reality. It would appear that Pop's enthusiasm for trying new things, despite obvious danger, has inoculated him against poisons of all kinds. I'm not sure the professor here make enough money. Hello? I just turned into a ghost over here. Seeing that you're shaken up by that really annoying student and all his nonsense, Colonel Sanders approaches you. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Please, let me walk you home. What? Like, for real? Oh, come on. You follow Colonel Sanders out of the room. Night, the school building has taken on another vibe entirely. It's dark, and more than a little spooky. Colonel Sanders stands in the quad's neon glow and speaks softly. Those mashed potatoes you made in class today. Before you go on, I want you to know they're not a great representation of my skills. I didn't even realize I was making them. They were amazing. Tasting them, it reminded me why I became so passionate about food to begin with. Oh, he's crying. Colonel Sanders is getting choked up. Cooking is obviously important to him, in a way that you find inspiring. Now might be the perfect time to tell him you're developing feelings for him. Colonel Sanders? Yes, Illunis? There's something I need to tell you. Hold it right there. There's something I need to tell you first. Oh jeez. You see, when I was just a boy, I had a dream that one day I would be the greatest chef the world has ever seen. And every day since, I have been working toward that dream, day and night, never stopping, never resting. Also lifting a lot of weights, like so many weights. We should follow our dreams with all of our hearts, that our souls may grant them like wishes floating on a shooting star. Hey, no, you... Shut up. I'm the one here to say inspirational stuff and be the star of the story. Were you forgetting that your cooking literally killed a guy? You can't prove that. I also saw you kill that guy. What was his name? Somewhere in the distance, you hear a long, sad sigh. Forget him. We're talking about me. Me. I'm the hero. The spark monster is here to fight a hero. What? I'm sorry. What? Can I recruit you as one of my friends? You look like a biblically accurate blob of mashed potatoes. I am confused and delighted at the same time. I think I left the fridge door open. Later, nerds. How dare you threaten me just as I was letting down my guard and connecting with another chef on an emotional level. Be afraid. Be very afraid of me. Because I'm a monster. See? Is he rhyming on purpose or is that just a coincidence? But before you can discuss syntax any further, it's a turn-based fight sequence. What will you do? Defend. You decide to defend. Which defense will you choose? Trepidation. You close your eyes tight but then open one just enough to squint and see the spark monster across the battlefield. For some reason, this makes you feel more prepared for what comes next. Spark monster goes on the attack. He spit hot gravy at you. You take 1 damage. Fat lot of good that defense did. Attack. You decide to go on the attack. Cook with love. Cook with love does 1 damage. Spark monster won't forget this. Spark monster focuses their mashed mind and draws energy from Mother Earth itself. Spark monster is one with Mother Earth. One with nature. They grow larger and more intimidating. How will you respond? Attack. Which attack will you use? Cook with love. Cook with love does 1 damage. Spark monster is no quitter. Buffed up and ready to rumble. They go on the attack once again. Spark monster uses utility tensile. You take 2 damage from the attack. If you take much more damage, you're not going to survive the battle. Defend. You decide to defend. Which defense will you use? Buff up. No one can control this much buffness. You start to feel bloated and, quite frankly, a little gassy. You'd better attack soon or you're likely to explode. You decide to go on the attack. Chowdown. Chowdown does 2 damage. A powerful blow. Spark monster is oozing cheese sauce onto the lawn of the quad. I wonder who is going to have to clean it up. Feeling vulnerable, Spark monster prepares for its ultimate attack. Rounded edge. Vile villain, your reign of terror stops here. Colonel Sanders summons the energy of 1,000 chickens. Pot pie power pinch. Pot pie power pinch does 10 damage. Spark monster is defeated. You saved me. An injured spark monster spews steam into the night. Forget mercy, finish him, spiritus wretched beast. Forget mercy. No student will ever walk the quad in fear again. This monster messed with the wrong chef. Attack. You ready your final attack. You'll never survive my student debt loan destruction. Student loan debt destruction does 10 damage! Spark monster is completely vaporized. Colonel Sanders looks on in awe. You continue to surprise me, Illness. The defeated monster left behind a special item. It appears at first to be a cookbook, but upon closer inspection, it's so much more. It's a book of magic spells with a golden chicken on the cover. What is happening? What is happening? You open the cover and find a library card tucked inside. The last name to have signed it out is Borko. Borko. That name sounds strangely familiar. Your blood is pumping as you stand in the quiet of the night, holding the mysterious book in your hands. Oh wait, chat. Hello again, hello! Colonel Sanders is great, another Joe star. The game is really something. I know, right? It is. It's so good. It's so random. I love that so much. It's so bad, but it's so good. There's so much like thought put into this. And I am touched. Truly. Also, yeah. Thank you, Dorian, for joining. Properly this time. Thank you for joining. This is the first time that you see my stream, and this is what it is. So, you gotta deal with that. As you come down from your battle buzz, you realize that your final attack has left you completely depleted. The world around you begins to fade away. Without any energy to keep your eyes open, darkness overtakes you. The image of Colonel Sanders flashes before your eyes as you fall asleep. He must have helped you get home. In your tired state, you don't know if you could have made it without him. What a guy. You want to thank him, but you don't have the strength to utter a single word. You feel your covers being pulled up over you as you are tucked in tightly. Oh my god, he tucked me in. Please. That's cute. Good night, my Colonel. In your dream, you're together with Colonel Sanders. For some reason, Sprinkles is also there, instructing your love. Dreams are weird. Yeah. You wake on day 2 and attempt to process the wild visions you had. Were they memories or premonitions? And then there was that secret ingredient that Colonel Sanders went ahead and told you outright. Not much of a secret, huh? It's probably just because he already trusts you so much. Sure, that makes sense. We'll go with that. You meet up with your bestie in front of the school. Before you can tell her about the encounter with the spark monster, she launches into a story of her own. Is she falling in love with Clank? I hope so. Okay, I know this might sound a little strange, but I think I might be... I think I might like Clank. Like him? Like? I know, it sounds like it's moving too fast, but there's something about him. And like him. Like him. We got to talking after class. He's actually a totally sweet guy. Not only that, but he's really smart. He told me all kinds of stories about Colonel Sanders. You know that Colonel Sanders was the most popular kid in his high school. No, but that does make complete sense. Yeah, but he was so popular that he was voted prom king at a school he didn't even go to. It was also the convertible that he himself rode in at the front of the homecoming parade. I'm thinking maybe something got lost in pressure cooker language translation there. Either way, maybe it'd be best if you took it slow with this new boy, like I am with Colonel Sanders. You and Colonel Sanders, the coolest guy in school, the most famous student to ever attend University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning. You're a thing now? We definitely connected yesterday. Sure you did. You're great, why wouldn't he be into you, I guess? Laughing at the implication that you and Colonel Sanders might be a thing is definitely not cool. You are great. You have an idea about how to prove that your love is real. Well, if he's not into me, why did he tell me one of his secret ingredients? Your bestie's eyes light up. A secret ingredient? Yeah, I just said that, a secret ingredient. Is there a dramatic echo in here? Miriam checks to make sure you're alone before continuing. So this summer, while I was on vacation, with my family, a lovely man approached me in the botanical garden where I was wandering. This can't be good. He told me all about his passion for spices. Secret spices. The man even gave me some to show me what he meant. He said it was a powder created from super duper rare dried flower petals, and that if I did him a big favor, I could have some of my own. Please, Miriam, don't tell me. So I filled my suitcase with them and brought them home. It was so nice, he even met me at the gate when I arrived. Later when I cooked with them, a very strange feeling came over me. And the flavor was unlike anything I'd ever tasted. That's not sus at all, no, Miriam. Absolutely not. This is so normal. Yes. I think you're being very liberal with the meaning of spices here. Whatever. Anyhow, we both share an interest in cooking, so we stayed in touch, you know, like pen pals. I bet he would love to know more about new spices. Well, I'm definitely not supposed to share Colonel Sanders' secret recipe. And besides, I only know the one ingredient, so I doubt it'd be much use to anyone. Please, 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 please. It would mean the world to me. No one has to know it came from you or from Colonel Sanders. You'll hear the ingredient Colonel Sanders told you, make up a fake ingredient. I'm gonna make a fake ingredient. Like, why can't I just decline? Why can't I just reject it? You quickly think of a fake ingredient name. I don't know, how about... It was Eye of Newt. I know it sounds like some kind of witch's potion, but what can you do? Eye of Newt is mustard seed. Eye of Newt. Wow. Her eyes light up imagining such a thing, and you figure that you satisfied her curiosity and she'll move on. However, she immediately turns around and does some typing on her phone that you can't quite see. That's probably not good. Before you can ask her to confirm that she was definitely not texting secrets to other people, you're interrupted. The wind rushes in. Cherry blossom petals fill the air. It's my boy. Oh my god, he has a horse. Oh my god. Why? Why? What? It's Colonel Sanders. He's arriving at school. Stand back and admire his majestic glory. Run to him. I would usually stand back and admire his majestic glory, but in this case, we're just gonna run to him. You decide that the best way to show Miriam how serious you and Colonel Sanders are would be to run to him. Surely he'll sweep you onto the back of his stallion and you'll ride it away together. That'll show her good. Oh, Colonel, my Colonel. However, your sudden movement surprised the horse and it rears up, kicking you directly in the face. The force of the blow completely knocks you out cold. In the darkness, you see a vision. Ooh, Lunis. I'm here to deliver you a message. Not this guy. It is important that you remember this exactly as I say. You forget the world could end, so you know it's serious. I have been trapped in a realm beyond, but a great prophecy relies on my return. Only you can save me. All you need to do is repeat my name 3 times. And that name is... Before he can continue, suddenly awake. I feel so sorry for him. I feel very sorry for him. I have only been to KFC 2 times in my life. Today was the 2nd time. Now you're playing a Colonel Sanders dating sim. Yeah, it's a fun coincidence that you told me that you were at KFC and I randomly decided to play the KFC game. It's a subconscious thing, I think. You've influenced me. But I've also only been to the KFC once or twice, actually. Because like my family didn't eat out a lot. And I don't remember anything. The last time that I went was with my friend and I did not eat anything. She was the one that ordered something, so I frankly said have not had KFC in the means of me remembering it, actually. Gotta hydrate. Someone take me out to KFC. I don't know. I feel like shitty or like it's probably good, right? I don't know. Like fast food testing. I don't know. I like fried chicken, so why not? After this, I'm definitely a Colonel Sanders girly. But before you can continue, you suddenly awake. Oh jeez. You awake to find Colonel Sanders tending to you. He roused you back to life with a satchel of secret spices, or is that just his natural seasoned musk? Compliment the craftsman. Chip off his horse's shoes. Lean in for a kiss. Both of them are clumsy, like, options. Those are really stupid. I don't want to compliment the horse. You put your arms around Colonel Sanders' neck and pull him in for a kiss. As he turns his face and you awkwardly kiss his ear, you can feel him shudder. Too soon, you clearly mistook his compassion for love. Your soul crawls inside of you and you instantly die of embarrassment. No! Okay. Can we skip forward? I hope so. Try again. Let me... Okay. Let me skip forward. Skip. I feel like I can't. Let me in. Let me just make up fake ingredient. Stand back. Colonel Sanders' horse is truly a thing of beauty. Without ever acknowledging that he's been watched, he does a short horse dance before dismounting with a flourish. He then slaps the beautiful creature gently on its rear, sending it running free into the countryside. That is irresponsible. Don't do that. You are so struck by the sight of him that you lose the ability to speak coherently. So majestic. Oh, I didn't realize anyone was watching. Don't worry, he knows his way home. You attempt to compliment Colonel Sanders, but the words don't come out exactly right. What a horseful beaut you have. I mean, what a horseful beaut you have. Dang it, that's what I just said. Being a good friend, Miriam attempts to cover for you. Ulunus just gets really nervous around people they like. What? This is not helping. I mean, they got food poisoning and were up all night and it was gruesome. You should have seen it. She gives you a wink and a smile as if to say, situation handled. Can't blame a girl for trying. And with that, Colonel Sanders disappears into the school, leaving you and Miriam to follow. When you enter the classroom, you can see your two rivals, Ashley and Van Van, are doing something bad. By the way, they're hiding. You know it must be really bad. Like counterfeiting recipes bad, experimenting with restricted ingredients bad, summoning a demon bad. Nothing wrong with summoning a demon. Just be respectful about it. You try and get a peek over Van Van's hulking shoulders. He sees you coming. Or there, little one. I'm not sure you're ready to handle this. Tell them to stop acting immature, act like you're not interested in them, but really try and get a closer look. Act like you're not interested. You sit near the rivals, but leave your back turned to them. You even hear Van Van mutter something that sounds a bit like a magic spell. However, he notices you eavesdrop and you try to cover your tracks and improvise an excuse. It's time for class and you're distracting the rest of us who want to learn. Now you've upset them. Oh, and you're the emperor of cooking, are you? You make the rules? I'm not sure you know a good meal if it ate you. What? Oh, are you gonna summon another spork monster? Being the best chef in the world takes more than just culinary skills. It takes creativity. It's panache. It doesn't hurt to use a little evil. You finally get a look at what it was that we were hiding and you instantly recognize it. It's a book, just like the one you found after your encounter with the spork monster. It's the same book that I found last night in the quad. Ashley immediately elbows Van Van, who hides the book behind his bag. I don't know what you're talking about. That book is a family heirloom and its contents are secret. You notice that they haven't just been studying that book. They've got Pop into the wall and they're tossing predator skins at him as he tries to catch them in his mouth. Oh, Pop. We're playing! Before you can dig in any further, you're interrupted by the arrival of more students. It's almost time for class. Beep. I like Clank. Clank is really cute. Clank must be running late. He's in such a hurry that he rolls right over Van Van's meaty foot. Hey, watch it, you bucket of bolts. You watch how you talk to him. He didn't do anything. Bzz. Womp. Who do you think you're talking to? I've never heard such language, not even from a stand mixer. Womp womp. No, your mother was a stand mixer. He is angry. Van Van jumps to attack Clank, but Clank shocks Van Van, sending him flying across the room. Protect me, Colonel Sanders. These crazed men are about to come to blows. I think it must be over me. But I'm not interested in either of them. Ashley's tone has completely changed in an instant. She bats her eyelashes at Colonel Sanders. Surely he must know that this is a ruse, right? Gentlemen, get a hold of yourselves. Save it for the arena at least. Or don't. Honestly, what do I care? I've got lofty career aspirations to focus on. Maybe it can help you with your business plan. Just then Sprinkles arrives to signal the true start of the class day. He's panting, which doesn't seem that abnormal. He's a professor, but he's also a dog. Students, please take your seats. I apologize for my late arrival. I spent the morning chasing a car all around town and my tiny legs are very, very tired. But I'm here now and I hope you're ready to learn. Rub his furry dog belly, he loves it. After he catches his breath, Sprinkles regains control of the classroom. Without further ado, we'll review the global history of my favorite fowl, the chicken. You want to pay attention to the lesson, truly. You do. which is why in 1776, at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it was a chicken who first signed their name. But you can't help but daydream about Colonel Sanders, and you miss most of the important parts. When you come to Sprinkles is holding a tray of food in front of you. Well, Illunis? Naturally, this appears to be a sample platter. Which item do you want to sample? A dog biscuit, a shimmering pepper, a glass of water? A shimmering pepper? A brightly colored pepper stands out from the other items. It sparkles in a most eye-catching way, so you naturally reach out, grab it, and eat it right away. However, your body is not prepared for the heat. The pepper has triggered an intense spice hallucination. Feels like forever as you trip through the universe. My friend! Ooh! This guy again. I'm here to give you an important message. You must avenge my death and fulfill your destiny. All you must do is... Coughing intensifies. I was saying to fulfill your destiny, and all you must do is... More coughing. Sorry, I think I've still got some spice stuck in my throat. It's fine, I'll work through. To fulfill... Cough. The prophecy. Cough, cough, cough. You must... You feel yourself begin to regain consciousness. Oh man. You come to and find everyone is staring at you. That pepper was the last of its kind on Earth, and now it's gone forever. You think to yourself, geez, I should pay better attention. We all make mistakes. I'm sure he'll forgive you someday? Come on, it's time for lunch. Before anyone can relax, the cafeteria lights dim. New rivals enter to make a dramatic announcement. Today's lunch will be prepared via timed competitive cook-off. They have such immense Team Rocket energy, and I love that. Demand that they stop wasting everyone's time. Step up and tell them you're on. Stop wasting everyone's time. Is everything in competition with you two? Yes. Yes. Well, not with me. I'm on a personal journey to learn to love. Learn to love? Sure, why not? But definitely not to constantly battle. Yeah, stop getting your genres crossed. Don't you have some portable monsters to capture or something? Portable monster. Yeah, there we go. Team Rocket. I need to eat if I'm going to have the energy to sustain my education and pursue my dreams of being a master chef. How are any of us supposed to get anywhere if we're constantly fending off challenges from every know-it-all with an apron? Besides, I already brought my own lunch. Illunis, you should have it. It will give you the energy you need to succeed. Miriam reaches out and presents a gift to you. My special grilled cheese and tomato soup, with chocolate milk to wash it down and a tartlet for dessert. That's so cute. Oh my goodness. I have a weakness for small things. I collect very tiny things, and that is great. It only takes you about 5 seconds to eat Miriam's tiny food, but it's just what you needed for motivation. You know what? I've learned enough for today. Let's battle. Just as things reach a boiling point, Sprinkles steps in. Surely he'll put a stop to this madness. Now, students, please settle down. This is a lunchroom, not a sports things court. Finally, a little sense. You breathe a sigh of relief. At least, not until we turn on the timer. Just then, a huge light blasts you in the face, flashing the words, "Timer ready." That's what I'm talking about. I will also not howl, but look at how cute Sprinkles is, though. I stand corrected. If it's a battle you want, it's a battle you'll get. My bestie can best the best of him. Best believe it. Like a diamond, I was formed under pressure. And now is my chance to shine. I will defeat you myself. You had his chicken and you made mashed potatoes and gravy on day one, and you're feeling like you can really impress him again here. It's time to boil some water for the potatoes. Think fast. If timer runs down, you'll be forced to pick randomly. It's what timer? Oh. It's yeah, panic. What were you thinking, Lunas? Get your head in the game. Sorry. Going to need to season this chicken before you cook it. You don't know Colonel Sanders' recipe exactly, but you have an idea. And that's wrong. No. I've seen schnauzers. I will... No, I completely butcher that because I forgot that is breed of dog. With better sense than that. And miniature kind, no less. Sorry. I am... Don't do that to me. Now that you've got some basic steps going, it's time to elevate your craft. The trust. Why is that wrong? I'm begging you to get it together. Get it? I'm a dog. It's never the wrong time for some dog jokes. Is 3 in a row wrong enough to cause a game over? Yep. Try again. They have to completely start over. If yes, then that's going to be very tragic. Oh no, okay. You're on. I'm ready. Okay. I'm gonna fail so horribly again. No, I'm skipping that. Stop talking. I wanna bitch fight. Why is that wrong? Seven. Why is that? Okay. Well. Okay. 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 Try again. If it's still going to be wrong, then I do not know what they want. How can I be wrong, like, 2 times in a row? What, all of them? I'm such a stellar student. Let me in. Okay, this say... No, whoa, wait. What them? 11. That's right. Tail wagging intensifies. Trust, gratitude. New classmates are rooting for you, but Ashley is simply stronger and faster than you. You'd better pick up the pace if you want to survive. When you were a child, your father told you to never forget where you came from. Every day you meditate on his advice and draw energy from that place. That would be great to harness that energy. I guessed that. I did not read the rest. You try to shut out the noise of the arena and focus on your cooking. It's a sign of success. Sizzling, bubbling, silence. Sizzling. No, why? Next question. You notice Colonel Sanders out of the corner of your eye. I believe in you, Lunas. I'm gonna fail so badly, I'm sorry. He's actually cheering you on. Which would be awesome, except knowing he's watching you makes you totally forget what you were doing. Now all you can think about is Colonel Sanders. No. What? You're stranded on a desert island with only one Dessert. Which do you take? What a hunk. No, stop. You know what? Shouldn't you be focused on the challenge? You're falling behind. Forgot no. What does it have to do with crafting spectacular fried chicken and delicate baked biscuits? You're really struggling to keep up. At the next station over, Ashley has already begun plating elements of her dish. It's colorful and complex. Can't talk today. To make up time, you toss your biscuit dough into a stand mixer. As you do, the crowd gasps. Yikes. I know you love nothing more than seeing a fellow appliance utilized in a kitchen battle, but sometimes that means sacrificing the personal touch. You might not have any hands, but Illunis does, and a good chef needs to be touching the dough to know when it's properly mixed. There's an easy way and a hard way. You don't get far by going the easy way. When you hear everyone talking, you realize how serious your error was. You immediately shove your hand into the mixer to rescue your dough before it's overmixed. Illunis, no! What is happening? But you're not fast enough and your hand gets stuck. It's immediately crushed by the quickly spinning beaters. There's no way you'll be able to use that hand for the rest of the match. What you often find is that the easy way can turn out much more difficult. Everyone stop what you're doing right now. This battle's over. It can't be. I was so close to finishing my dish. Sweetheart, look at your hand. You simply can't go on. Oh, that's too bad. And here I am with a completed dish, ready to serve. Surely that makes me the winner by default. No, it would be fair to compare the two, on account of Illunis's injury. You see Sprinkles begin to lick his doggy chops as he locks onto the dish. But I suppose you should at least tell us what you prepared. Well, because I'm the sweetest, I skipped straight to dessert. Under this white chocolate dome, you'll find a wide array of delights, taking you on a journey of flavor that tastes good and tells a story of excellence. I was going to ask Illunis to do the honor, but since you're injured, I'm afraid that pouring this creamer of delicate hot chocolate sauce might be too difficult. Colonel Sanders, if you wouldn't mind lending me your strong, steady hand. Colonel Sanders pours the hot chocolate sauce on top of the dome, causing it to melt away, revealing the ingredient hidden within. Inside, you'll find a delicate fried cheese croquette atop a slice of honeycomb, ice cream 2 ways, tender nougat, and pearls of blueberry gelée. Colonel Sanders seems intrigued, but perhaps not impressed as he dips his fingers into the chocolate sauce. Simplicity isn't your strongest suit, is it, Ashley? Oh, you. Internalize the rage you feel. Put yourself between Colonel Sanders and Ashley. Your rage burns so intensely within your eyes that they burst into flames. The flames cause your eyebrows to catch fire and turn to ash. They fall off of your face, which means people will have a hard time understanding your emotions for the rest of the semester. Perhaps forever. What is happening? Embarrassed and ashamed by your poor performance, not to mention your crispy bright brow, you run for the quad to be alone. The beautiful weather feels like an insult. Inside of you, a storm rages. It's Colonel Sanders. He's probably here to tell you that he and Ashley are in love and have decided to get married. And he won't even ask you to cater his wedding because you're a terrible chef and an awful person. Oh, girly. Chill. You try to hide from him, but he approaches you directly. I know you're hurting right now. Not just from the devastating loss, but from that run-in with the mixer and that small fire. We should get that checked out. I'm fine. Can't you just leave me alone? I'm a loser. I'm not fit to fill your fryer. I'll never be a master chef. Failure is a part of life, not just for you, but for all of us. Do you think I've never failed at anything before? That's exactly what I think. Well then, think again. I wasn't always the man you see before you enrolled in a culinary school. Incredibly handsome. Successful. Motivated. Well, handsome, sure. I was born that way. but I've walked other paths and arrived at dead ends. I was passionate about life, but I failed as an obstetrician. I was passionate about justice, but I failed as a lawyer. I was passionate about livestock, but I even failed as a mule handler. That one was especially humiliating. Mules can be so cruel. I lost my business partner to a gunfight. He did. But, yeah. Someone should, like, look up the Colonel Sanders articles. I like fun or weird Colonel Sanders facts. There was a time when I read those facts to the Discord server, and it was interesting. Yeah, hello! But he believes in you. Hello, Quetzal. Hello. How are you doing? How are you doing? Having a good time? We are indeed doing the one thing that no one wanted me to do. Damn, my piercing hurts. I didn't know. People see my delicate ribbon tie and my well-kept beard and assume that I've got it all together, which is true now, but it hasn't always been. Sounds like this guy could really use a hug. I resolved then that I was going to amount to something. No amount of hours, labor, or money would deter me from giving the best I had to give. As Colonel Sanders changes focus, you can see something ignite inside of him. A burning passion. I am thinking about all of this, I'm reading this, and at the same time I remember that I do not have eyebrows anymore. Because they apparently just burned off. Because my eyes lit on fire out of aggression and utter anger. Also, my hand is still crushed from the stand mixer. Someone get me to the infirmary. Please. One has to remember that every failure can be a stepping stone to something better. My new dream is pure. It's honest. It's something that a humble man in a crisp white suit can be proud of. I will create a new chain of chicken restaurants that will bring joy to the entire world and make up for my past misdeeds. Yeah! Just as your moment grows intimate, you're interrupted by a threatening, shadowy presence. It's the Spark Monster! Battle scarred from there before you prepare for the worst. Not again. Gorko, the Spark Monster, is here to fight a hero. Is anyone else feeling a bit of a deja vu? I'm sorry, Gorko, but I could have sworn we already battled you last night. That was Borko, my twin, and I, Borko, am here to avenge them. Are you stronger than Borko? Well, we're twins, so no, not really. We're pretty much exactly equal in every way. Why do you ask? Colonel Sanders smirks. He's already on the same page as you. It's just that we beat Borko pretty easily, so I don't think you have much of a chance. Not to mention, I feel really guilty about that. If I could take it back, I would. I think what Illuminus is saying is, can't we just be friends? Life's too short for making enemies. I suppose we really don't need to fight. It's just that I've got these pointy teeth and claws. All the better for enjoying tasty foods. Surely you like to eat, don't we all? Of course I do. Inspiration strikes you and you come up with a quick idea. Chomp on this. You toss a biscuit into Gorko's open mouth and he devours it in one gulp. Delicious, you're so much nicer than the evil students who once upon a time turned me into this creature who stands here today. I don't believe it. You were human once? Well, no. I was a Chihuahua, but I was still a student at this school. Until one day, some mean kids with the magical spellbook cast a dark enchantment on me, and I was forever transformed. A magic spellbook? Precisely. Borko used to have a copy, but somewhere along the way, I've lost it. If you find such book, I beg of you, respect it. You're a powerful chef, and shouldn't rely on such dark and evil magic. No, you should be protecting the innocent from those who would cheat them through sorcery and guile. If you need me, don't fear, I will be there. It sounds like there are some bad cooks in the kitchen of life. Lunas, together I am sure we can defeat them. Back to my hideaway and we can discuss. A personal invite. You can't imagine what Colonel Sanders' home must be like, but it sounds like you're about to find out. Stepping inside Sanders' home, surrounded by his things, you start to feel a special bond with him. Is that Colonel Sanders as a baby with a big chicken drumstick and a goatee? Wow. He was born like this. He was born handsome, truly. It looks like he lives such an exciting life, Colonel Sanders. Every day can be an adventure if you approach it with the right attitude. Long ago, I made the decision to never stop searching, never stop working, never stop imagining. Have you been working on any new recipes of your own lately? I'm always excited to talk about food with another ambitious chef. Well, there is something, it's just a side dish that I've been tinkering with. Trying to find the right balance of flavors and textures. I'm not sure I've nailed it yet, but I'm close. Colonel Sanders' eyes perk up as he starts to wonder what dish you might be describing. It's meant to pair with something spicy or something crispy. Both, perhaps. Now you've got him right where you want him. Should you reveal your new creation to him? Or keep it a secret just for you? Reveal it. You decide that you're as ready as you'll ever be to share your original cooking with Colonel Sanders. But you can talk yourself out of it. You decide to dive in head first. You reach into your lunch bag for a special dish that you've been keeping on ice all day. I present to you my original coleslaw. The shredded cabbage dish glistens in the light of Colonel Sanders' Slick's hideaway. Magnificent! Together, you chow down on the creamy slaw until just a spoonful remains in the bowl. You mind if I hold onto the last bite? I'd like to have it around so that I can admire its taste later and think back on this moment. Could offer to make him more, but he seems like a very sentimental kind of guy. Sure, why not? Please make yourself comfortable. I'll be back in just a moment. You gonna steal my coleslaw? Sir? You realize now that now would be the perfect time to do some snooping. Around the room are various items that you can look closer at. Each item seems to radiate memories and emotions. Tap on an item to discover more about the Colonel. Oh my god. What is this? This must be where he keeps the secret recipe. You think for a moment what number is important to Colonel Sanders. Then it dawns on you. As soon as you turn the dial to 111111, the safe opens. Inside it, you find a single note. Can chicken be prepared sashimi style? Tap on an item to discover more of a Colonel. This. Yes, an adorable little baby boy crawls across the floor. From the goatee and mustache combo he sports, you figure that this must be Colonel Sanders himself. That, or maybe it's the drumstick that he seems to be waving like a rattle. Who frames a baby picture of just themselves? Probably the same type of person that would make their own face the logo of the company they founded, am I right? Tap on an item. Okay, camel. Photo appears to be Colonel Sanders, except he's an old man visiting the pyramids of Egypt? Maybe this is where he discovered one of his secret herbs and spices. Oh god. Okay, wait, no. One of the framed photos shows an old man who looks a bit like Colonel Sanders standing with a friend. They hold fried chicken drumsticks and appear to be cheersing them. They're not. That's a lie. Look closely and see that there is a short inscription. I wonder who my friend Pete is. Happen on okay, the ashes of someone. You take a closer look at a large urn sitting on a nearby pedestal. There's a plaque on it. It's dusty, but when you wipe it off, you can read the inscription. It says, here lie the ashes of all my past careers and business failures. Oh. Oh no. Poor guy. Candle. A scented candle, you pick it up and try to identify the smell. Is it gravy? Power tool. Freshly starched collar? Piece of wood floating in a lake? Summer of 69? No, it's one of the secret recipe ingredients. It's blank. A lock of silver hair is woven through the teeth of the comb. Upon further inspection, you realize that the hair therein isn't just silvery in color. It's actually made of spun silver. What? You gaze out the window across the vast lake and mountain range beyond. Just then the ghost of student pops up. Hi. Are you thinking about heading out into the world on a quest to avenge my death? Wait, what? I never even learned your name. Why would I avenge you? I could just tell you my name right now. Can't you see I'm in the middle of something? Open the window a crack and the ghost of student is swept out with a breeze. I feel so bad for him. I feel really bad for him. I feel like he's just a guy. Just let him be. Please. Tap on an eye. Oh wait. Notice a very realistic stuffed chicken sitting on a corner table. When you pick it up, you realize it isn't just realistic, it's real. Chicken, yes, indeed, chicken. Taxidermy must have been important to Colonel Sanders when it was alive. A little note clipped to the chicken's foot reads, "The true state bird of the great state of Kentucky." Door. You open the door to Colonel Sanders' closet and find a row of his signature white suits hanging within. You take one off its hanger and try it on. No, don't do that! The jacket is a bit big for you, but it's soft and comfortable. You give yourself a deep hug, breathing in his scent. They say that home is where the heart is. Is this what they meant? Before you can look any further, you hear Colonel Sanders returning. He has a new dish that he has been working on, and he wants you to taste it. You try to act casual until he asks you why you're wearing his jacket. I don't usually loan those out, but I must say, it does look good on you. Oh crap, the jacket. You decide that now is your moment and make a big move. You tell him you're cold, you fess up and tell the truth. I'm cold. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. I just got a little cold and thought this might warm me up. Colonel Sanders smiles and scoots close to the fireplace. It's warm by the fire, why don't you come a little closer? Suddenly, everything feels like it's moving too fast. Final exams are tomorrow. You should be thinking about what you're going to cook. I should be home studying. Overwhelmed, you take off the jacket and run for the door. But the thought of leaving Colonel in the midst of such an emotional breakthrough gives you pause. You stop yourself. Colonel? Yes, Lunas? Why is he crying? I think you're right, we should take things slow. We talk late into the night and drift off into a slumber. Dream sequence! Yeah. Looks about right. You wake to a beautiful morning in Colonel Sanders' hideaway. You make the right decision on how to respond to Colonel Sanders. Only time will truly tell. Today is a day that could change the rest of your life. You think about the new secret ingredient you just learned about. In some jurisdictions, isn't even legal, but if the recipe is a secret, how will they know? Your thoughts are interrupted when Colonel Sanders emerges into the room. He's holding a gorgeously plated breakfast and your mouth waters at the sight of it. Here's a simple breakfast I just whipped up. It's meticulous. That looks really nice. You taste Colonel Sanders' food and it takes you on a journey. When you return, he's waiting to ask you an important question. So would you say that we're the perfect match? How presumptuous. My cuisine and your taste buds, that is. Take him down a peg, flatter him. Such confidence, such grace. Could he be the world's greatest gift to cookery? We'll flatter him. You know, I think we might make a great team. A single tear begins to pull in the corner of his eye as he gazes out the window. And with the right business partner, I know I can't fail. Business partner? Would he be talking about you? It's all happening so quickly. Overcome with emotion and confused by your own feelings, you're on the verge of tears. Unable to speak, the only answer you can find is to run out the door and get home. What? Come on. Get yourself together. There is still one more day of school after all. The University of Cooking School Academy for Learning waits for no one. You get home to find something very surprising. Your best friend is there waiting for you. Where have you been? Because I had one heck of a night. I've been desperate to talk to you about it, but I couldn't find you. I got worried that something had happened to you. It's okay, but now that it turns out you're fine, I can finally get you up to speed on the saga of Miriam. Sure, but you will not believe what happened to me after school yesterday. I went on a date. I think I can believe that. Since I've been partnered up with Clank, he asked me to go out with him. Of course I told him you'd better keep your dials turned to polite and respectful. I'm not that kind of girl. He was just interested in spending some one-on-one time together and getting to know me, so I said, yeah, sure, I can get to know the little metallic guy. But long story short, he took me skydiving with his friends, but things quickly spiraled out of control. She just says skydiving as if that's a typical first date to go on with a talking pressure cooker. And I'm not really sure where we stand. You don't give Miriam time to tell her whole story. However, bottling up the details of your own night is just too much to bear. And I went on a date too, back to Colonel Sanders' house, where I spent the night with him. You what? Nothing happened but the emotional connection. Wowzers. Miriam tells you to move on from this whole Colonel Sanders obsession and focus on school. If being obsessed with Colonel Sanders is wrong, you don't want to be right. After a short argument, you both agree to go your separate ways. When you arrive at school, you encounter your rivals on the quad. You can tell from a distance they're picking on Pop, though he himself might not quite grasp that fact. Because, you know, he's Pop. What's so swirly? It sounds delicious. Oh, it's great. I'll order you one right away. I'll give my swirly with the sprinkles, please. I'll have my swirly with the sprinkles, please. Okay, sprinkles is a dog and a treat. You can get your swirly dip too. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Because I'm literally the biggest person at the school. There is that horse that Colonel Sanders rides to school, but who would dare pick on such a gentle and beautiful creature? You've got some nerve, Lunas, suggesting I pick on a defenseless horse. And you're twisting my words, and I won't have it. You clench your fist, but the injury from yesterday's mixer accident makes you wince with pain. Doesn't look like you can go on cooking like that. You might as well just give up. I'll never give up. Ever. Colonel Sanders arrives just as it appears things are close to boiling over. A naturally intuitive person, he senses that something has been going on. Is everyone excited for the final day of school? Lunas, how's the hand feeling? I'm sure you'll be back in a fighting form by this afternoon. Aren't you concerned about my hands, Colonel? Yesterday I almost broke a nail winning so hard. Technically, I don't believe a winner was decided, but the presentation was quite impressive. What is he doing complimenting her? What about the flavor of my delicate, warm, gooey chocolate sauce? It was clear that you're passionate about how your food is received. That's a lot of words to say. It was bland. Excuse me, Lunas. I am more than capable enough to speak for myself. Maybe you could tell me more of your thoughts as we walk into class, Colonel. I'm always interested in discussing the fine art of fine foods. See you inside, Ilimis. Excuse you? Annoyed by Colonel Sanders' inability to see Ashley for who you know she really is. You walk across the quad to get some distance. An attempt to distract yourself from how slighted you feel by that interaction with Ashley. You take out the spellbook you recovered yesterday and start flipping through the pages. What's that book? It looks like bad news. It's just something I found lying around. It would appear to be some sort of grimoire. I don't really believe in that magic stuff. A grimoire? Like a book of spells? I don't know who would spend so much time decorating a magic book if it weren't really powerful. I can think of one surefire way to find out. Open the page covered with arcane warnings. Cast only in case of extreme emergency, it says around the edges of the page. I could use the spell here that says it will erase anyone I choose from all my memories. If I scrub out Colonel Sanders, it would probably help me focus better on the upcoming final exam. That is way too drastic. Couldn't you do something else, like anything else not rooted in dark magic? Maybe tie a string around your finger? Okay, fine, it is drastic, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Don't do it, girly. You've got a memory erasing spell sitting right in front of you, and a pretty good excuse to try it out. Don't do it after all. Take your friend's advice and put the book away. It's almost time for class. Sprinkles is already in the room waiting for the students to arrive. He clears his voice to make a quick announcement. I want you all to know I feel something of a dog moment coming on, but I assure you it's nothing to be afraid of. Must be hungry, reach for some old homework to give him as a snack. Dogs can be rather unpredictable, especially Sprinkles. Wait to see what happens. I'm waiting. Sprinkles stops in his tracks. He focuses in on the window. The room is deadly silent. When you follow his gaze, you see a tiny orange squirrel perched on the cherry tree outside. Sprinkles turns feral and runs to the window of the classroom. He begins barking uncontrollably at the squirrel outside. Terrence, I told you never to come back here. Terrence, I will destroy you. Terrence! Damn, what did Terrence do? Sprinkles is barking ferociously, drool flying off of his face. The squirrel looks over, but he doesn't say anything back. You wonder, is that even a talking squirrel? Who named him Terrence? You'd better not show your chubby cheeks around here ever again. After Sprinkles is satisfied that his presence has been felt by not only Terrence, but any other squirrel in hearing distance, he returns to his professorial tone. I apologize for the outburst. This actually brings up an important point. Thank you, Linus, for reminding me to dole out this indispensable bit of wisdom. You see, before he can go any further, Miriam's love drama spills over into the class. Sprinkles is interrupted by whirs and sparks coming from the back of the room. I told you to save it for after class. Oh, look at them. Like I wanted to be thrown from a plane strapped to a stranger. Miriam and Clank appear to be arguing, but you still haven't learned to speak Clank's language of mechanical noises. But no, you had to show up to your cool kid friends Jeff and Joanne. J and J forever. Watch us form a triangle in mid-air as we descend. Triangles are the strongest shape, don't you know? Yeah, well, that doesn't make it a great date. And take Jeff and Joanne with you. You can all hold hands as you pedal down the mountain or off a cliff for all I care. Clank begins to shudder. Steam pours out of the gaps in his panels, and a loud ding stops him in his tracks. You just kill him. No what if seasoning is going to make me want to eat that, Clank. Clank burps out a completely deep-fried sneaker. Considering that he himself has wheels, not feet, it's not entirely clear where it came from. In terms of deep fried footwear, I guess it looks okay. Hank slowly rolls out of the room to be alone with his shoe. Everyone tries to pretend like they didn't see that entire thing go down. Nothing like a loud public breakup to cast a pall over the final day of school. Well, that was unfortunate. But we mustn't be distracted from what lies ahead. The final competition showdown challenge exam. Trademark. I'm still working on the title, but I think you get it. Test time approaches. See you all in the arena. But before you can think about your upcoming competition, there's a very beautiful soul nearby in need of a pep talk. Hey Miriam, are you okay? Okay, I'm so mad I could smash a tiny mug, spilling several droplets of hot cocoa all over the floor. How could he embarrass me in class like that, in front of everyone? Cast the spell. Damn, what he do to make Gamer so mad. The robot, like Clank, and Miriam, the girl here, were on a first date. Or like we're dating and we're on a date, and for a first date they went skydiving and she did not like that apparently, so now they just broke off. They broke off their whole thing here, which I can understand, but it is very public, so yeah. Her tiny Coco is a delicious treasure, so you know that this breakup is no joke. Even if the source of her frustration is such a silly boy. I know that you know this, but I'm gonna say it out loud. You don't need anyone. Me and you were gonna cruise through this final test and hit the carpool lane to Success City. Miriam brightens up, imagining the wind rushing through her short bangs, but she hesitates to embrace the feeling all the way. You're not going to settle up on Colonel Sanders' stallion and ride off into the sunset without me. Of course not. Well, maybe sorta, but I'm sure there's a pony out there with your name on it and a ranch big enough for both of us and whoever else we want to bring along. If it's not Pop or Clank or anyone else you meet today, tomorrow, or this whole year, so what? You're a special person. We shouldn't settle for the first someone to show a little interest. Anyhow. Miriam gives you a big hug and wipes the tears from her cheeks. I should really review my menu for today. I'm going to make a very special soup. And I bet that Professor Dog is gonna love it up. While you were pep-talking Miriam, you completely missed lunch, but that's okay, because you had a better idea of how to spend the time before your exam. You've decided to head to the arena early to practice a dish. This is it, the location of your final challenge. A test of will, a test of courage, and a test of talent. And a chance to beat the pants of a Van, the supposed man, and his evil counterpart, Ashley. As planned, you begin to run through a quick test of a recipe you've been working on. Luna's famous chicken pot pie. After practicing for months, making this dish comes second nature to you, and you're able to quickly get a fresh pot pie in the oven. But as soon as you do, your cram session is interrupted by Colonel Sanders. Hey Lunas, what are you doing here? There's still time before the final exam. Oh, just taking it all in. I'm big into visualizing success. I'm looking at my station and picturing victory. The pot pie has begun to bake and the smell is slowly filling the space around you. Visualizing, huh? That's too bad. I was hoping you were here cooking something delicious. You usually happily share your food with anyone who's hungry, but last time you let Colonel Sanders get in your head, it cost you a cook-off. You decide that it's time to put your cooking above your romantic desires, but that decision gets hard to stick to when the oven timer goes off behind you. Ignore it, there was no sound at all. That's about your practice dish. Okay, you got me. I'm doing a little bit more than visualizing. I know, my nose can smell a pot pie from 400 yards. That's an oddly specific distance, but you'd expect nothing less from such an oddly specific man. You knew it was a pot pie just from the smell. Not just a pot pie, but a chicken pot pie with an all-butter crust. And my nose is telling me something else. Oh no, is it burning? No, I can smell that it was made with a heaping helping of TLC. But it'll probably start burning any second if you don't pull it out. Moment of truth. Wow. It's the best pot pie I've ever tasted. I've always loved country cooking and I could eat it all day. There's no time left. The final showdown is about to begin. Sprinkles lays down the ground rules. There are no rules, that is, except to cook with everything you've got. You step for the cook-off of a lifetime. You decide that mac and cheese plus a pot pie you've been practicing are just the dishes that will push you over the edge to victory. Meanwhile, both Van and Ashley are prepping wildly elaborate dishes per their usual over-the-top selves. Miriam has her giant magnifying glass and several sets of tweezers. She's definitely prepared to go big, going small. Colonel Sanders seems to be harnessing his 11 herbs and spices, but he's trying to find a way to improve on something perfect. His original recipe, fried chicken. Intensity in the room starts at full 10 out of 10 with a frenzy of action. Everyone is calling out really cool special cooking moves as they prepare their food. Wow, this is getting serious. Colonel Sanders batters his chicken as it levitates through the air. Egg wash! Miriam fiercely injects ingredients into an itty-bitty pot of broth. Best friend Blaster Blaster! Van flexes his pectorals as he chops open a sea urchin. Let's rock and roid. Ashley scoops her pastries off the tray with lightning speed. Shallow personality spatula. Oh, what? Hello bear. Hello. But yes, thank you for doing that. How was stream? How was stream? I don't know. I think you're still streaming. No, you're not streaming anymore, right? I'm confused. Sometimes my Twitch doesn't refresh. But hello. Shallow personality spatula. I was drawing. I'm done though. Yeah. Do you still want to play Overwatch? With the peoples or just us? I don't mind. We just rated another small artist. I see. I'm just dating Colonel Sanders. Oh, that's cool. Quetzal's joining too? Cool. Do you have a spot free? Because I would want to join, but if you're already full, I'm just gonna... Oh, I think I'm soon... I'm done soon. So I think I could probably make it. Because I think it's like the third day. It's not that much that is left. So it's gonna finish things up. Yeah, if you still have a free spot, I'll totally join. Okay, shallow personality spatula. Even Clan gets in on it. 5 dial pressure point chicken cooking technique. Oh, he's talking. Wait, when did Clank learn to speak English? It's the singularity, as was foretold. We mustn't let it happen, or the appliance uprising will take us all. Self-destruct. Batman quickly unplugs Clank and rolls him out the back door of the arena. As you frantically prepare your dish, you notice Ashley has her spellbook out. Is she going to use some dark magic to turn her tide? You've got a book of your own, and you're desperate not to see her win another battle. Should you take this opportunity to fight magic with magic, even if it's almost certainly evil magic? Do it the hard way. Who needs magic when you've got passion? I'm going to do it the hard way. Colonel Sanders sees that you've chosen to win on your own terms and he gives you a subtle wink from across the room. I believe in you, Lunas. What a charmer. Miriam notices too. And I've always believed in you, Lunas, since we were little kids because I'm your best friend forever. You turn to notice that Miriam is at your station cheering for you. Miriam, what about your dish? If you're here cheering, who is cooking? Any food, short cook time. I'm actually already done, so I thought I'd help you. But that's sweet, but Miriam tosses a handful of spices directly into your boiling noodles. It's the secret ingredient. However, she doesn't know that you lied and the ingredient was made up. And where in the world did she get Eye of Newt from? The boiling pot explodes, sending Miriam flying backwards. The watery noodles begin to swell in the air, bubbling up into a dark cloud that thickens and congeals before your very eyes. Eye of Newt is just mustard seeds. It's not dramatic. It's really not dramatic. It is I, Steve, the Spark Monster. Steve? Wait, what happened to Gorko? You're not here to battle me, are you? Where Spark Monsters are many, I think Gorko had the day off. But you have conjured Steve, and I hate to battle, so I'd say you're doing pretty alright. Oh hey, you're in the middle of a cooking competition. I love this stuff. It's better than TV. You crazy kids and your culinary skills really impress me. Mind if I hang out? I like this guy. I'm sorry, Steve, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. Do you mind? Steve, the Spark Monster, notices that you've got the grimoire stashed beneath the cooking station. I see what you're up to. Crisscrossed some magical items and actually summoned me, huh? Yeah, you guessed it, sorta. If you're here, would you mind tossing some fresh noodles in a pot of salted water? I'd love to. I've always wanted to be a top chef, actually. You know, when I was just a little spark pup back in the old country. You can feel Spark Monster winding up to tell a very long story. A very long and involved story. You don't know exactly where it came from, but it seems like it was probably lonely there. Actually, you know what? Maybe you should watch from the stands. I really need to focus on this competition. I understand it's kind of like that time in monster school that I had fallen asleep during scare tactics class, and when I woke up, you toss a serious stare at Steve and he takes the hint. Never mind, I'll tell you later. Good luck. You summon extra power from deep down within yourself. Give up and drop out of culinary school. No. Okie dokie, I'm going off the game a little bit if you'd like to join. No rush. Yeah, I'll join. I'll join when I'm done. You summon extra power from deep down within yourself. I can do this. I have what it takes. I came here to win. Your hair turns mac and cheese orange as culinary energy flows through your body. My heart is pure. My hands are steady. My taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for. Yes, Lunas, you're the chosen one. You will avenge me. The power you've been summoning immediately fades back out. You interrupt my inspiring monologue. Sorry. My heart is pure. My hands are steady. My taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for this moment. I will show the world my cookery. You begin to levitate off of the ground. Energy courses through your body. You know that with this power you can do anything except turn back time, which would be super useful because while you were powering up, your chicken pot pie overcooked in the oven and can't be served. But don't worry, dear Lunas, you may have been suffered some setbacks, but all is not lost. Impressed with your fortitude, Colonel Sanders decides that you have earned his support. I've been watching you today, and I must say, I'm truly impressed. You've been thinking on your feet and rolling with the punches. He steps up to your station and stands right beside you. I'm here to help. All you've managed to make is mac and cheese and time is almost up, so you're going to need it. But Colonel Sanders, what about the test? What will happen to you? What about the rules? Following the rules has never really been my thing. I follow my heart. There are no rules. There are no rules. What a guy. Colonel Sanders unfolds a delicate white towel to reveal the most delicious fried chicken tenders you've ever laid your eyes on. And besides, sometimes unexpected combinations can have surprising effects that surpass their individual efforts. Are you suggesting if we combine forces we can form the perfect food union? Time's up, students! With time expired, it's the moment everyone has been waiting for. You must now prepare to present your dishes. A handful of students stand tall, but the class seems incomplete. It seems we're missing some students. Pop? Clank? From off-screen, you hear a pure and innocent giggle that can only come from one student. I'm flying! Sounds like it's coming from that broom closet over there. Miriam, would you mind? Inside of the closet, you see Pop, hanging on a broom hook by the elastic of his underpants. Pop, get down from there right now. Let me guess, did Van have something to do with this? When someone asks for a wedgie, who am I to refuse? I thought a wedgie was a salad. It looks like Pop is eliminated from the challenge, seeing how he didn't cook anything. I can't feel my legs. May I be excused? Sure. You kids and your pranks, I must say it's not the worst prank in UCS AL history, but it's not exactly yearbook material. Wait a second, pranks. Clank, where did that pressure cooker roll off to? You wait to hear his signature word beep or other onomatopoeia, but there is none. Somehow he must have gotten unplugged, I guess. We'll have to figure that out later. That leaves only 4 remaining students. Please collect your final projects. Yes, it has been a long semester. Wait, 4? Van? Wait, Van? Ashley, Miriam, me, and Colonel Sanders. It's 5. What? Wow, 3 whole days long. But after days of hard work, the time has come for me to eat. Miriam, please step forward. Now describing your dish. I've made tender udon noodles in a savory soup. That's so cute, oh my god. My word, it's so delicate. Is that a teeny tiny narutomaki I spy afloat in this itsy bitsy bowl? Yes, chef. Please call me Sprinkles. Chef is my father's name. Yes, Sprinkles. And some green tea made from baby tea leaves that I picked myself. Sprinkles carefully sniffs around the dish before opening his mouth and letting just the tip of his pink dog tongue dip into the bowl. Sublime! Would anyone else like a taste? Oh, come on, I'm not one of those dogs who doesn't floss. I even have a really cute electric toothbrush for dogs. Fine, I'll enjoy it all by myself. And in a flash, the entire meal has been devoured. Not that it took much. It was less than a thimble's worth of soup. A+. Rarely do I taste a dish with as much love poured into it as yours. Miriam is overjoyed. She gives you a huge hug. Thank you, Lunas, for helping me to believe in myself. Van, you're up. Now describe your dish. I made uni over smooth egg custard in an axe-honed urchin shell topped with caviar. Did you score one type of urchin with spines from a second different color type of urchin? Yes, Sprinkles. A bit much, don't you think? That's exactly why I did it. A bit much is kind of my brand. Doesn't it look cool? It does look cool. Sprinkles leans in to sniff the uni, but he can't get his nose close on account of all the spikes. He begins to paw at it erratically, causing the custard to slosh around. Please be gentle with my cuisine. Finally, Sprinkles goes all in, tongue first, but he can't get past all the needles. He reels back as his tongue is poked and prodded. My tongue. Professor appears to be having an allergic reaction to the sting. I can't eat this. It keeps poking my tongue. Disqualified. A stunning turn of events. Who would have thought that serving food in a bowl made of needles could make it difficult to eat? Rejected, Van does not go gentle into the night. Disqualified for glamour. Don't discount simplicity. This isn't the last you've heard of me. This isn't the last time you've heard of me. Before forcing us to endure his swollen tongue for another moment, Sprinkle graciously laps up a bowl of milk. I know, I'm a dog and I drink milk, get over it. Sometimes it helps calm my agitated tongue. Next student, Ashley, it's time to step up. Now, describe your dish. I made orange blossom Turkish delight in a light rosewater syrup topped with French meringue and connected by sugar glass. It's very cute. That actually doesn't sound too bad. Indeed, it's quite delightful, however I'd ask you to please refrain from eating it or attempting to taste it in any way. It's very fragile and meant to be a display piece. Don't eat the food? At a cooking school? Got toast in your ears or something, Elunas? I told you, it's a display piece. Actually, I must say it is beautiful, however this is a cooking competition at a cooking school. Yeah, which is why I cooked it and did an extremely good job cooking it too. I didn't realize that we were having an eating exam. If I wanted to be judged on eating, I'd go to the College of Eating, School for the Hungry. I suppose you could smell it if you absolutely insisted, but don't breathe too hard, you might disrupt the sugar spiral. If the food cannot be eaten, it cannot be judged. You're disqualified. Rage overtakes Ashley and she finally cannot keep her two-faced routine up. You wouldn't know high-end cuisine if it cooked you. And with that, Ashley storms off to rededicate herself to being the best, but this time without being shackled by trying to fake nice and liked by everyone. This isn't the last time you've heard of me either. This class gets much smaller, I'll be teaching myself. You and Colonel Sanders, the final cooks, step up together. 2 chefs. What began as a bowl of delicious mac and cheese has become something else. He examines it closely, sniffing and eyeing the bowl. Uh-oh, I don't have a good feeling about this. From somewhere in the room, a literal drum roll plays. That's when I thought I've seen everything in this kitchen. You give me this thing, and completely blow me away. In my 49 dog years of life, I have never tasted anything so delicious and perfectly balanced. It's so delicious, in fact, that everyone passes the class. You pass, and you pass, and you get a pass. Everyone gathers around and partakes of the mac and cheese bowl. They all seem to transcend this reality into another dimension. You win! Together, you and Colonel Sanders have made a new menu item. The new menu item is so impressive, even Van and Ashley are drawn back in by its magnetic fragrance. When they gaze upon your mac and cheese bowl, they admit that you are indeed an excellent chef. Sprinkles declares that you have passed. Everyone has passed. There were supposed to be more battles, but come on, how could they be better than this one? Now that the school year is complete and everyone has graduated, the students return for one last assignment to get their groove on. The cafeteria has been completely redecorated in order to serve as the site of the school's graduation dance. Compared to the massive high-tech cooking arena, the humble decor seems downright cute and cozy. DJ Talk is in the house. So chubby and cute. You know that Sprinkles was a master chef, but also a world-renowned turntablist? Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Van and Ashley tell everyone that they've committed themselves to righting the wrongs they did while they were villains. That is the sluttiest little crop top and the sluttiest little booty shorts I've ever seen on a man. For a moment, you actually believe them. Not another haunting. No goes allowed at graduations. It's clearly written in the school's bylaws. I was never actually goes. It was all a trick to get you to finally notice me. Oh, amusing. Now that everyone is together, it's a Spork Monster. He has totally mellowed out. Everyone, the Spork Monster is no more. From here out, I prefer that everyone refer to me by my new name, Party Monster. The student tries to finish what he had to say, but everyone is too wrapped up talking to Spork. Sorry, Party Monster. Dejected student walks off. Maybe things didn't work out for Miri romantically, but she found the love in her cooking. You know she's gonna do great. The red carpet rolls out across the floor of the ballroom. It's like a Hollywood movie premiere. Who could command such an entrance? It's Pop. He's arrived late to the dance, but apparently for good reason. Walking to the carpet, you see perched atop his dirty chef's head. A crown? Welcome back, Pop. I know you weren't able to complete the final exam and accept your diploma, so we had it mailed directly to your father. We figured it was the least we could do for the school's dean. Oh. Now I get it. And we get a new wing on the school, not to mention the honor of educating the son of the chancellor of such and such. The music of the dance is interrupted by the sound of sparking and electrical hissing. It's Clank who has arrived late to the dance. Now that I've graduated, I can reveal my truth. Wow, he's still doing the talking thing. I am Clank, and I am not of this earth. I'm actually from a faraway planet in another dimension. What? What? I actually feel like I knew this. Now that I've learned the ways of your kind, I must return. Miriam, will you come with me? I don't know what to say. Besides, no, obviously. I've just begun to learn who I really am. This isn't the time for me to devote my life to figuring out who you are, Clank. Hell yeah. You're blown away by Miriam's maturity. It's pretty clear that she has managed to surpass you in that regard. Understand, kind of. Humans are weird. A portal opens up and Clank disappears through it. Finally, Colonel Sanders arrives. Oh, the petals. The petals. Howdy, classmates. Oh my god, he's dressed casually for once. I would have wanted him to turn up in a suit. Honestly. Please. Give him a suit. Just like the first day you met him, he has come prepared to feed the entire class. However, it's not enough to give them a bucket of chicken. This time, it's a full meal. I didn't get to be the most famous chicken man in the history of chicken, and man, by not reminding people to go out and buy my chicken. Ah yes. As you do. The end? Question mark? No, it's not the end. As everyone feasts on their delicious chicken dinner, Colonel Sanders finds you sitting at the edge of the dance floor. Lunas, what are you doing sitting all alone? Oh, you know. Just waiting for the right person to ask me to dance. I wonder, might you tell me what are the qualities that you would expect to find in such a lucky person? Off the top of my head, oh, I don't know. A spicy musk, a tidy goatee, and a degree from the University of Cooking School Academy for Learning, just to name a few. It truly is my lucky day. Would you dance with me? Yes, I would love to. As you glide across the dance floor, hand in hand with Colonel Sanders, the future stretches out in front of you. And once my 100th franchise is up and running, I'll be ready to take a day off, and I'll be so glad to spend it together with you, Lunas. Oh, how nice of you. How sweet, we'll work together and play together. Colonel Sanders stops dead in his tracks. Work together? Well, I think this is something I'll just need to do by myself. It will help you run your restaurants. I don't believe I need help. Besides, based on your time at school here, do you really think running restaurants is the best path forward? Oh. Could it be? You found a love connection but failed to earn Colonel Sanders' respect as a chef. And you live with only half of him? Will you be able to endure sharing him with his other love, the life of an entrepreneur? I suppose I could enroll at pastry school. Oh, my dear Lunas. I'm sure that you'll find your place eventually. And along the way, you'll have me by your side. The end. Roll the credits. Oh my god. The chicken screech. There it is. There it is. It's the thing that was in the beginning. It's really loud. It's so good. I like it so much. I'm so fascinated. I don't know what I just experienced, but I'm a changed person, truly. I also noticed throughout streaming that I don't know, I think my model is like, I think the camera is set awkwardly or something, and I randomly just close my eyes, so I probably have been having my eyes closed for the whole stream, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that was an experience, and I am in awe, and I'm confused, and my back hurts once again. I haven't even been shrimp posturing, my back just hurts because it hurts. But what just happened? I've dated Colonel Sanders. That much I can say now. Great, a masterpiece? Yes, truly. It is really a masterpiece. I don't know what I just did. But yeah. It was a good time. It was a good time. Wait, for how long have I been streaming? Almost 3 hours. Damn. Okay, okay. I said that I was gonna try to like stream Overwatch as well. Or like test it at least. I don't know if I'll actually do that though, because my back hurts quite a lot. And perhaps I will actually just send you guys off on a raid. Let me see if there's anyone online right now. I don't have a lot of people to raid, I'll be honest. Let's see. I could send you off to Minecraft. With the stream. Seems cozy enough. Hold on. Let me awkwardly try to send you off on a raid again. God damn it. I can't really type with my nails. For those that did not check Twitter or see my Twitter. Because the tweet bot is down and I'm really mad about it. I got my nails done again. And they look great. But at the same time, I cannot type. That's something. So let me get you to Minecraft. Hopefully it recognizes that. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah. I'm gonna send you off to a raid now. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for giving me some of your time and for hanging out with me. And watching me play the one thing that no one wanted me to do, actually. I had a good time. I'm very confused now, but I had a good time. So, take care of yourself, everyone. And stay hydrated. Goodbye.